Hello! My name is Kristen from Declarations of a Fangirl, and today I'm going to share with you my Alphabetathon wrap-up, my Buzzwordathon TBR, my Brereadathon TBR, which I'm cheating, but whatever, and then my regular TBR. And I'm going to use my nifty jars here. This is full of every first book in a series and every standalone that I own a physical copy of. I know it's a lot, don't judge me. A couple of these are rereads. It's been a long time since I read them, but I still want to continue with the series. So yeah, that's that. And then this is a jar full of challenges. I just went on Pinterest and made a long list, printed them out, cut them up, folded them up, and boom. But let's start, first of all, with my Alphabetathon wrap-up. The letter for this month, I think it's monthly, I'm not even sure, this is my first time doing it, but the letter was F. So you could have a book with something on the cover that started with F, like food, fire. You could have a book with the F in the title, of course. Author's name has an F in it, or there's a main character whose name starts with an F. So I picked out 4. One of the challenges was to read 4 books. I picked out 4 books. I got through 2, and I'm in the middle of the other 2, so I'm planning on finishing them this month. First book is Omega by Lizzie Ford. Obviously, I enjoyed it. I tabbed it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I will have a more in-depth review of this on my blog because I do better typing up my reviews than filming my reviews because I'm terrible about letting spoilers slip. So at least when I'm typing it up, I can proofread. The synopsis for this one, I kind of wrote a little something down. The main character finds out she's the Oracle of Delphi, but she's lived separated from the world for as long as she can remember, which is about 12 years. The world is like this dystopian society where Greek gods are out, so to speak, and they have their own territories, and they're warring over the territories and power, and just humanity is getting sucked up into it. They're just collateral damage. And so to claim the full power that she has to complete 3 trials, but she can't figure out who to trust. She doesn't trust anybody. Everybody she thinks she knows, she doesn't know. It was crazy. It was very fast paced, which was great. And then there's minimal romance. It was nice. It wasn't crazy. Minimal cursing, which is great. That means that my 11-year-old daughter can read it. Next up, we have Freak of Nature by Julia Crane, excuse me. A girl named Caitlin who decides to donate her body to science in the event of her death. And something happens and she ends up dying, and she wakes up in a hospital room and she's a cyborg. She's not supposed to retain any of her emotions. She doesn't have any memories. She doesn't have any she's not supposed to have any emotions. She does, and she has to keep it a secret. The story follows that and her struggle with that, and sometimes it was funny because like she couldn't understand some slang and some phrases that we say all the time. She doesn't understand them. And there's a love interest, of course, which causes drama, and that's all I'm going to say about it. My other 2 books from Alphabetathon were Broken Faith by Brandy Nicole. And all I'm going to say for this one is that it's got a fallen angel, a vampire, an alpha hellhound, and a human girl. So I was like, yes, please. Last but not least, from my Alphabetathon TBR was Falling by Tara Benham, now known as, I'm going to botch it up, Tara Mahuron. No, I got it wrong, and she's going to laugh at me because she was just telling me how to pronounce this. This is book 1 in the Soul Collector series. It's about an angel named Bela. She's a soul collector, and she's been given a mission to go to this Kentucky town and ensure that this earthquake happens, this cataclysmic earthquake that's supposed to like decimate this town. But she has to make sure this one guy named Gray survives. She has help which she doesn't usually have on her other missions, but this time she has help with Hadrinel. I don't know. I can't pronounce his name. She calls him Had. And he's like the muscle. He's like a bulky warrior kind of type angel. And she also is forced to work with, or to cooperate with, a demon named Declan. And he has a man bun. For my Brereadathon, you're supposed to reread a book. The theme is mothers. And so you can have a book about a mother, a book where, or I guess it's one of the main characters is a mother, or it's got one of the characters is a mother that you love or you hate or something like that. I don't know. I chose Lacy I by Jessica Treadway. It's about this married couple named Hannah and Joe. And they have this awkward daughter named Dawn, and they send her off to college hoping that it'll help her spread her wings and broaden her horizons. But so she comes home for her sister's wedding with her new boyfriend named Rudd, and her parents have a really bad feeling about them. They don't like them. And after that, Hannah and Joe suffer a savage attack where Joe is killed, and Hannah comes out of it and she has no memory of the attack. So after that happens, Rudd, Dawn, their daughter's boyfriend, is convicted of the crime, and he's put behind bars. Well, then he wins an appeal, and the community is starting to whisper that maybe Dawn had something to do with it, with the attack. And so Hannah has to try and reclaim her memories to keep Rudd in jail and to exonerate her daughter. But the last line of the synopsis says, as memories surface, Hannah faces the unsettling question of how well she knows her own daughter. So that sounded really interesting to me, and it's about a mom. Next up, Buzzwordathon, and that is taking place now, the 7th through the 13th. And the word that we are focusing on is girl. They're taking one of the words that you see on a lot of covers lately, which is girl, and they're forming a readathon around it. There's no challenges, just read books that have girl in the title. So I have 3. The first one I have is The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. I'm actually listening to this one on audiobook. It's this government facility, and it's got all these children, and they're strapped into wheelchairs, and they go to class and everything else, but they're being studied because there's this virus that turned everybody into a zombie or whatever, and these children, they end up getting infected, but they retain their humanity. And so the government decides that they're going to dissect these children and study these children to figure out if they can find a cure. The next one I have is The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. Anyway, this one is about vampires. There are towns everywhere that I guess are like walled in, and it's where vampires and humans, aka their prey, live and coexist. And once you go in, you can't come back out. So this girl Tana wakes up after a party, and there's been a massacre. The only survivors are herself, her ex-boyfriend who has been infected and on the edge, and another mysterious boy who has a terrible secret. So, which I'm kind of assuming that it's probably that he's a vampire. And the third book I have for this week, if I get to it, The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torre, or Torre, I'm not sure. I thought this was that she had agoraphobia, and so she lived in her apartment. She'd been in her apartment for 3 years, never left it, never touched a human being. Thanks to the internet, she can make a living on the internet. She does, she strips on camera to make money, and she fulfills people's fantasies or whatever online. And she uses the internet to order everything she needs shipped to her house. But now I'm reading on the back, and it says, my life is simple as long as I follow the rules. Number 1, don't leave the apartment. Number 2, don't let anyone in. And number 3, don't kill anyone. I've obeyed these rules for 3 years, but rules were meant to be broken. But it's definitely a change from what I've been reading lately, which is YA fantasy, so I thought it would be good to mix it up. I'm participating in a year-a-thon. I'm behind. I've got a year-a-thon and do a decathon, and I made a page for it. Well, it's in the back cover of my reading bullet journal. I'm going to pull it out here to show you guys. So here it is. And I got all my challenges. I'm trying to catch up. I don't know if I'll get through them or not. But one of the challenges for a year-a-thon from February is translations. So I found this book at the dollar store. It's small, and it's called The Corpse Exhibition and Other Short Stories of Iraq by Hassan Blazim. I know I'm mispronouncing that. So it's a collection of short stories about the Iraq War from an Iraqi perspective. And it's been translated from Arabic. So there we go, my translation. Another book that I just want to get to because I'm so excited. I got it as a gift from my children's school's librarian is The Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine. And it is a Snow White retelling. I'm excited to read this. I hope I can get to that. And last but not least, I want to review at least one book a month, at least, that I've gotten an arc for. I've already done that with Lizzie Ford. That was an arc, Omega. But I want to do another one, and so I'm going to tackle this baby, which is Asylum 54.0 by Nadege Richards. I know, I'm messing it up. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. So I tried to summarize this synopsis when I was writing my little notes, and I couldn't. So I'm just going to read it to you. It's really interesting. It sounds really good. It says, "They left us behind. 3 years after being captured by the Reapers, I am no longer human. With the Y506 virus destroying what's left of Silo, no one truly is anymore. We now work for them, these things that control us. We kill for them, warding off the black-eyed leviathans that roam the desert hills. In return, we get to keep some piece of our past. But you see, not all of us are compliant. Not all of us could be changed. We haven't forgotten. I'm different, and so is Jonathan. There are much more like us. They took my mother and threatened the life of my sister, forcing me into a life of exile. I am hell-bent on my revenge. Taking back Silo one asylum at a time is our means to an end. Joining the underground is only the beginning. My name is Mathai Porter. The invasion starts now." It sounds so good. And she sent it to me a long time ago, and I started reading it, and I wasn't really in the mood for it, and I knew it was going to be amazing, so I needed to make sure I was in the mood for it, as I normally would, because I love her books. I love her writing, so I know this is going to be amazing, but I didn't want to read it when I wasn't in the mood for it and potentially not like it as much as I know I will. So, that's on there. Now, if I get to all of those, we are going to, let's start with the hard ones. These are the challenges. A book from the library. Well, that means I'll have to go to the library. Or does it count if I bought a used book from the library? Does that count? I'm going to set that one aside. I'll have to think on that one. So. A book set in summer. Well, most of my books set in summer are YA contemporaries. Okay. I will do it. I'm not a big YA contemporary fan. I buy them for my daughter, but I do have some. I'll try and see if I have a short one. A YA contemporary just isn't my thing. Sometimes. Here, let's do some of my titles. Trying to mix them up here. I have traditionally published and indie in here, so let's see. I might get my chubby hand in here. Ooh, this looks like a long one. Oh, I think I already know what it is. Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. That one's a little big. Okay, we will do that one. I don't think I realized what I was getting myself into with this. Oh my goodness. Okay. I didn't even get one. Okay. I dropped it. Alice in Zombieland by Gina Showalter. Okay, well this is a reread, which I can mark off of May of a year-a-thon because that is rereads. That was the theme for May. So, okay. Cool. Let me go get those. Let me go get what I'm going to choose here. I am going to fudge it a little bit in a book from the library. I'm going to say is one that I've purchased because I have so many books And I purchase a lot of books from thriftbooks.com. I will put my referral link in the description box down below. They have free shipping when you get $10 or more. And so I buy a lot of books that were ex-library copies. So I'm going to say that counts. So I'm going to put us on pause and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I have them all. Y'all, I don't know what I was doing when I thought I could handle this. Okay, so first of all, let's do a book set in summer. I don't even know if, I think these might be backwards. If they are, I'm sorry. I'm going to go with Hot Houston Nights by S.N. Garza, which is my friend Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie! I miss you! This takes place in Houston, and it is always summer in Houston. I know. I lived there for 6 years. Hot. Hot as F in Houston. So I'm going to say that's summer. Library book is going to be A Darkness Strange and Lovely. I think I might have read this, but I don't remember. I know I've read the first one twice. So, and if you see, it is a used copy from Thrift Books, but it's from the library. It's got it on there. So there's my library book. Alice in Zombieland by Gina Showalter. This one I've read already as well, but I'm going to read it again. I love her books because look how fun they are with the cover off. And then the inside look. Oh, I love it. Okay. And last but not least, we've got Six of Crows, which terrifies me. Legit terrifies me. Because, I don't know, it just intimidates me. But anyway, those are my books. Let me see if I can get them stacked up like everybody always does the stack up for like their little thumbnail or whatever. I should probably try to stand up while picking this up, but I don't want to stand up. So, we're going to see. Oh boy. Oh boy. There we go. There they all are. You can't even see them all in the picture. Oh, there we go. Now you can. Oh, but I'm not supposed to put them this way. I'm supposed to put them the other way, right? So you can't see the titles? So it's like, what? It's mysterious? I don't know. So, alright. Let's see if I can put this down without dropping it. Thank you so much if you've gotten this far for watching. I will see you later.